Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. Got an absolutely amazing broadcast lineup for you this morning. Only thing that's missing is you. Only thing that's missing is you. So all you have to do is give us a call, 508-924-3421. 3521. I'm sorry. 90508. I can't, man, let me get my thoughts together this morning. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. This is the Morning Glow. This is the Morning Glow. So we definitely would love to have your input. All you have to do is, like I said, give us a call and we will talk about whatever you want to talk about. This is Black Conversations. The phone lines are open. Black Conversation. We got a couple of topics we're gonna try to cover today. But it is also, just so you know, it is also open. So if you have something that you want to talk about, something that's on your heart, give us a call. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to hear from you this morning. Um I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. Spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and it hadn't gotten any better. Hasn't gotten any better at all. And what I'm talking about is this whole situation with businesses telling us that telling people, their employees, that they have to get vaccinated. Now, United Airlines told their employees that they have to get vaccinated. They have to get vaccinated, and it's important. And if they didn't get vaccinated by a certain point in time, that they could not work. And Delta, and I was pleased with Delta for a minute. I was pleased with them because they did not put that requirement on their employees. They did not put that requirement on their employees at all. They did not say that they had to get vaccinated, and I thought it was a good thing. I thought it was a good thing then, but it come back around. Now Delta is putting a different stipulation on their employees. They're saying that they don't have to, they're not required. Now, listen at this now. They are not required to get vaccinated. They're not required to get vaccinated. If they don't want to get vaccinated, they don't have to. It's their choice. It's their right, it's their choice. They don't have to. But if they decide not to, listen at this now. They're going to charge them an additional $200 a month insurance. Their insurance is going to go up $200 a month. So they're telling them you don't have to get vaccinated. You don't have to get vaccinated. You really don't have to. It's up to you. It's your choice. But please know and understand that if you don't get vaccinated, if you decide not to get vaccinated, we're going to charge you an additional, because it's a fee that we have to endure. We have to endure this fee. So we're going to charge you an additional $200 for your insurance a month. Now you want these people to pay you an additional $200 a month because they decide not that they want to do what they want to do and have a choice with their own bodies. They want to have a choice what they want to do with their body. They don't feel as though they have to give you an additional well, not necessarily. Let me go back to where I was. They should not have to. They should not have to get this vaccination if they so choose not to. Is their choice. It's their body. Should they wear a mask? Absolutely, absolutely, they should wear a mask. But my thing, if they decide that they don't want to get vaccinated, then I don't think that you should be in a situation where you force them to get vaccinated. I don't think you should force anybody to get vaccinated. I just don't think you within your rights to do so. What gives you the right to tell these people what they can and what they cannot do with their bodies, and then to say, "Welcome to the U." Badger say, "Welcome to the USA." But my thing is this right here. You're going to charge these people now. A lot of them are really right now struggling to make it. You're not paying. You're not making them rich. You're not making them rich by working for you. And so a lot of them are really struggling to make ends meet. And now you're talking about you're going to take an additional $200 out of their checks every month to go into your, because you're saying that it's costing you this much money for health care and all the lawsuits and stuff like that that you're getting. You're saying that it's costing you this much money. So you have broken it down in some kind of way or has somebody to do something. And now you're saying that you're going to if you're vaccinated, you're fine. Don't worry about it. No harm, no foul. Good boy, good girl. Basically, good boy, good girl. If you're vaccinated, good. You did good. But my thing is, if they decide that they don't want that vaccination, you're going to charge them $200. How far off communist way of thinking is this? Is this a communist mindset that you're having with these people? By telling them if they decide they don't want to get vaccinated, you don't have to. We're going to give you a choice. Oh, it's your choice whether you get vaccinated or not. Is it really? Is it really their choice when you're telling them that if they decide that if they or is it really their choice if you're telling them if they decide that they would not get vaccinated or don't want to get vaccinated, that you're going to take an additional $200 out of their check? Do you know what that's going to do to a lot of households, man? $200, that's a bill, brother. That's a bill, sister. And because of the fact that they decide that they don't want to put a vaccination, a needle in their arm, just because they decide they don't want to put that needle in their arm, now you're going to tell them that you're going to, okay, the fee for you not, and that's basically what it is. The fee for you not putting this vaccination in your arm, it's going to cost you $200 a month up until the time you decide to get vaccinated. Oh, we'll stop taking the money once you get vaccinated. We'll stop taking the money once you get vaccinated. And so, Delta, I'm not in agree. I was agreeing with you in the beginning because you were saying that they don't have to get vaccinated, and you standing behind that. You still standing behind the fact that they don't have to. But why are you putting this stipulation on there where you're saying that if they decide that they will not get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated, you're going to take $200 out of their check? Come on, Delta. Come on, Delta. Somebody need to make a stance against y'all. I can't do it because I don't work for you. I don't have a dog in this fight. But I would say if it was me, and if I work for y'all, I would take a stance against this. I'll go as far as I have to go with this because truth of the matter is not right. Truth of the matter, it is not right at all. You're gonna and how did you come up with $200? How did you come up with that fee? How did you come up with $200 a month? $250 if they get paid every week. That's $50 a check. $50 per check. $50 every time they get paid. If they get paid twice a month, if they get paid twice a month, it's $100 every time they get their check. They're gonna see a deduction of $100 if they get paid every 2 weeks. They get paid once a month. That whole $200 is coming out. Now, if they get paid every week, just to take $50 out of their check, just because. If they get paid weekly, you're taking $50 out of their check every time they get paid. Sometimes some people may not even have $50 left over after they pay their bills. You're making it real hard for people to work. You're making it real hard for people. You say they have the freedom to do what they want to do or have their own choice and make their own decisions. No, they don't. They do not. If you're going to charge them, Delta Airlines, yeah, I might even stop flying Delta because this doesn't make any sense. And that's one thing that we could do. Stop flying Delta. Stop flying the airlines. Hit them in the pocket. Stop flying the airlines that'll put people in these situations like this. Do I agree whether they should get the vaccinated? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter whether I agree with them getting the vaccination or not getting the vaccination. I think that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. But what I do know, and what I do is people should have the rights. If they don't, that's like abortion. Do they have does a woman have a right to make her mind up whether she want to get an abortion or not? Do I agree with abortions? Absolutely not. I don't agree with abortion. I think it's murder. But I'm not so holier than thou, or I don't think I have so much power I can sit here and say you would not get an abortion. You would not abort that child. It's not my choice. It's her choice. It's her body. If she decided she don't want to go through that 9 months of carrying the baby and the labor pains and all, if she decides that she don't want to do that, that's her right. It's her option. She can make that selection if she so choose to do so. I don't agree with it. Do I agree with the vaccination? Do I not agree with the vaccination? That doesn't matter. What matters is you are putting these people in situations where they have no choice. Now, wearing a mask that I don't think, and y'all might say, now you're getting crazy, Raheem. Y'all might say that, but I don't think that should be a choice. I don't think that should be an option whether you wear a mask or not. I think everybody needs to wear a mask because even if you don't agree with it, you have to give the next person the right to be healthy. You have to give the next person the right to be healthy. They deserve that right. But when you say getting vaccinated and stick and injecting something into your putting a needle in your arm and injecting something into your body, they have the right to decide whether they want to do that or not. They should have that right. It's not for you to decide, oh, you have to get vaccinated, or if you don't get vaccinated, you can't work for me, or we're gonna take this money out of your check every time. We're gonna spank you every time you get paid. We're gonna spank you for not getting the vaccination. We're gonna spank you. We're gonna give you a paddling every time you get paid until you decide to do it my way. Until you decide to do it my way, we're gonna spank you every time you get paid. You get paid every week. We're gonna take $50 out of your check every week. You get paid every 2 weeks. It's going to be $100. Okay, now give me this. Okay, thank you. Now this is yours. You get paid monthly. They're taking $200 out of your check every time you get paid. Every time you get paid. It's crazy. It is crazy. Get phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. What do you think? What do you think about this whole situation? Is Delta right? Is Delta right in what they're doing? Is Delta right in taking money out of these people's check every time they get paid? Is Delta right for withholding $200 out of their check, a total of $200? And I don't know if they take it one time, they take it out over a period of time of the month based on how they're paid. But is Delta right for doing this? Do they have the right to do this? Do they have the right to tell you and dictate to you what you have to do with your body? Are they right? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call, 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give me a call and let me know what you think about this whole situation. Is Delta right? Is they wrong? Are they wrong? Should they have the right to determine? Should they have the right to determine what I do with my body? Or because of the fact that it's my body, is it my right? 508-924 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give me a call. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It sounds a little shady to me. It sounds a little shady to me. But that's just me talking. Maybe you view this thing differently. Maybe you see it differently. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. That's just that's my take on this thing, man. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. And if somebody is there and could tell me or show me where it's right, please do so. Please show me. Because right now I think Delta has overstepped themselves. I think Delta have absolutely overstepped themselves. I mean, but what can one do? What can one do if Delta has decided that that's what they're going to do? What can one do? How do you fight? How do you fight back? How do you fight back? Can you fight back outside of just saying, okay, I'm no longer gonna work here. I'm no longer gonna work here. What does one do? We got a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Tucson calling from Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Mississippi. There you go. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Doing the best I can with what I got.
There you go. There you go. Tucson, I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and it came up. And United said that everybody, United Airlines said that everybody that's working for them have to get that vaccination. We didn't agree. We had a conversation based on it. We didn't agree on it. And Delta said
Mm-hmm.
that Delta Airlines said that they're not going to require their employees to get this vaccination, which we thought at that time was a great thing. That Delta took the stance to give people the freedom to do what they want to do and to make their own decisions. We thought it was a great thing, and it
Mm-hmm.
was. Now Delta has taken a different stance. Now they're saying that they have the right. They don't have to get the vaccination if they don't want to get the vaccination. They don't have to. They say they don't have to get the vaccination. But if they decide that they will not get the vaccination, if they decide that they don't want to have that vaccination, they're going to take $200 additional out of their out for insurance on everyone that's not vaccinated. They're going to take $200 out of their check a month. $200 a month out of their
Mm-hmm.
check for insurance purposes because they have to
Mm-hmm.
pay for all these fees that they're acquiring because people are being coming in contact with different things and coming in contact with COVID. So they're gonna take $200. If you're not vaccinated, they're gonna take $200 out of your check every time you get paid. Tucson, what are you hearing with this, man? Is this even legal? Is it even legal to do something like that? That's my thing. Is it even legal?
uh, you, let me put it this way. How much are you willing to give up to make a stand?
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are some things that I don't get into how people feel about certain things no more. Because one thing I know is that this virus is real. I
Mm-hmm.
do know that. I know
Mm-hmm.
that the hospitals are full. I
Yes.
know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when people get sick because the hospital is full, they send them home, tell them to quarantine. It's kind of like the hospital say, I hope you make it.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that. I know that there are numerous amount more than normal. Maybe, maybe somebody may argue with me on that, but I'm not going to argue about that. But everybody is going to their relatives and friends' funeral. I
Mm-hmm.
know that. I know that this virus is contagious. This new variant of the virus, however you want to pronounce it, is three times maybe more deadly or contagious than the previous one. I do know that. That's what I do know. So what I say is, in order, what are you willing to do to make your point? What are you willing to give up to make your point? Because now we're at the point that everybody has a point or reasoning why or why not. The only thing that I can think of that, um, and just hear me out, it was not optional when the children of Israel were uh, in Egypt, and since they were in Egypt, their only alternative was to put the blood over the doorposts
Mm-hmm.
if they wanted to live. That
Mm-hmm.
was it. That was it. They
Mm-hmm.
had no other option because if not, the first born would die. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so um, this this vaccine, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't have an opinion about it, but I do know that people Some are, some aren't. It's like a catch-22, glass full, glass empty. You do, you don't if you do, you don't if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, in all that I do know, I'm sick of being in this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
tired of it. How do
Mm-hmm.
we get out of it? Do we just say that it's all a hoax and let's come out of it in 10, 15 years from now? Okay, if that's what you want to do. Do we trust people that all of a sudden we didn't trust? We don't, I don't trust nobody, really. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there are people that are educated in some kind of a way that in past times we did trust them to bring us out of these type of situations or help us at least with some
Mm-hmm.
kind of a remedy.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're at the point that we discrediting everybody. So I will say this and I'll shut up. Do what you want to do. Make your own decision for your life and your family, and let's see how that works out for you.
Mm-hmm. But see,
It's
my
kind of hard.
it is hard, and it's a very difficult situation. It's
I
a
didn't even address your question. I really didn't
mm-hmm. Go ahead, address.
because no because okay people saying well I just don't want to. There are nurses and doctors saying the same thing. So United and Delta they have to make a decision because they are in business of travel, and then in travel you have to think about the safety of your customers. And is it a possible maybe reasoning of lawsuits?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what their reasoning is because I don't work for them. But I've had a situation the other day that um, some tested positive, and because I was named and the rest of the crew was named, to the point where we had to go get tested.
Mm-hmm.
And two said, "I don't want them sticking nothing up my nose.
Mm.
I don't know what they're putting in my nose."
Mm-hmm.
I said, so let me just take you two to the side and ask you a question. Since you believe that somebody is trying to do something to you, how do we know whether or not something has happened to you that will cause harm to you, me, and possibly your family when what you want to do is make a stand and have us trust you
Mm-hmm.
with your self-diagnosis?
Wow.
What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're being self-diagnosed. And they say, well, I just want to talk to some more people. Okay, let me call. And I made some calls. So the company said, either you, because you was named, either you go get tested, or what we're going to do is we're going to send you home 10 days to quarantine
Mm-hmm.
without pay,
Mm.
and then you can come back. Because we don't know how we don't know whether you have it or not. So the process has to be carried out with
Yeah.
or without you submitting because you don't want to. You have that right.
With or without your check.
But the protocol is that you go home for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And since you're not going to comply, then do your own thing. But we can't pay you for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense? That's the question.
Well, like I say,
That's the question.
I can understand, and I could also understand from the Delta standpoint, the stance that they have to make. But at the same time, there have to be a better way of doing it, because if you're saying that, if a person decide, and a person should, and I equated it earlier to an abortion. Do a lady, does the young lady have the right to have an abortion if she so chooses to do so? And I made it very clear how I felt about abortion. I don't agree with abortion at all. I really don't. But I still cannot tell this lady if she decided to do something with her body and she decided to have an abortion with her body. I can't tell her that she can't have that abortion. I can't tell her that. If she decided to do it, that's her body, that's her choice. She can make the decision for herself. That's the same thing I stand on this vaccine. If a person decides that they don't want to have anybody to stick a needle in their arm and inject them with something, then that should be their right. That should be their right to make that determination. It really, I think it really should be their right. Um, Phone lines are open 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. To
Raheem, I was gonna you wanted to even address that, which I don't fool that either,
mm-hmm,
because you're right. You have the right, but there's a twofold thing. If somebody raped you, if somebody molested you, and you wind up with a child coming, and some people have, and they have the child.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
They go through the drama of and the pain and the suffering of and of that act, and they live that on and on and on and on again. You know, some people have health issues.
mm-hmm.
Okay, but if you just say, well, you know, I just don't want to have children, and I got pregnant, then I just don't. I was going to say something, but I can't say it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say it's in the Bible, but I don't want to go that far because we use that when we want to be comfortable. But the fatherless child,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we just don't want to raise the little, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's so much into why that people do things.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just I just don't want to, well, you wanted to get your groove on,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Uh, So that's a delicate situation because every situation has its own reasoning.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I just wanted to touch that because um, people, the women, have the right to their own decisions in life, but then some make that decision and regret it for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Exactly. Because I know a lot of ladies that had abortion that they say, I wish I had not done it. I wish I hadn't had that abortion. I wish I'd have had the child and blah blah blah. It's too once you make that decision, it's too late. You can't go back and undo it. Just as once you stick once they stick that needle in your arm, you can't go back and and pull it out as if they didn't inject something in you. It's in you now. It's in you, you know. And so my thing is, should Delta have the right? Should Delta Airlines and we say Delta because that's one of the cases that come across, but there's other companies I'm sure that's out there that's making the same that's putting the same stipulation out there. I'm sure there's other companies. And my thing is this right here. Should they have the right to tell you what you can and what you cannot inject into your body? Do they have the right to say, look here, if and you know, some states they say right to work state, they can fire you to drop of a dime, don't have to worry about it. You go to work and they had a bad night the night before, they can fire you. They don't have to have a reason. They don't have to justify it. You don't you're fired. Go home. Go home, you're fired. And so my thing is, do they have the right? You work for this money. You work all the hours that you work to make this money. You're expecting to get a certain amount of money. And then you get your check and $200 is missing. They say, we didn't tell you. You're not vaccinated, brother. We taking $200 out of everybody check that is not vaccinated. We're taking $200 out of their check because they're not vaccinated. Now you can get your money back, but you got to go down there and get vaccinated and show us that you're vaccinated, and we'll put that money back on your next check. Tucson, that sounds kind of iffy to me. That sounds very iffy to me that they will be able to do something like that and get away with it. But that goes back to what you said. How much are you willing to sacrifice to make a difference? How much of a stance are you willing to take? And some people got to really take a serious, a strong, and a firm stance. A lot of people to send a message to Delta to let them know that that's not right. A lot of people got to make that stance. it can't be just one or two people say, oh, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. You're not gonna be effective. Because what they would do, they would just move away from you and keep moving. Next up,
Mm.
next up. What do you say? What do you say to that, Tucson?
So you say if a kind of like boycott them or something?
Um, yeah, I get, yeah, I guess you could say that the boycott or people can come together and actually make a stance against them and say, you can't do us like this. You can't do this to us because it's not right. I work my hours for this money, and now you're gonna all of a sudden you're gonna take my money from me that I work for. You're gonna take my money from me that I work for because of the fact that I decided I didn't want to get vaccinated.
Okay, so I think that what I don't know if Delta and United have a union, if they're unionized,
Hmm.
but I'll tell you this right now, being from little that I might know, some of the unions are for um, vaccinating because there's a reasoning behind um, these unions and companies. When it really comes down to it, it's about business.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that.
It's a balance of the workforce and the company, but it's all about business. The final analysis in everything is I got to make my money.
Hmm.
Or if a person on in the workforce kind of like buck the system in a way, or do not succumb or submit to what's asked for, then you know what they do is get you where it hurt
Hmm.
in your pocket.
In your pocket, absolutely, absolutely. But see,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's what they do.
yeah, yeah, and you're right that is what they do, Tucson. But is that right though? If I work for this money.
No, no, yeah, I know. But see, what they do is, and I don't know if they can legally do that,
Hmm.
but it's you know, um, it's the way the government. Now you got the government and court systems and everybody else that looks at this thing as a whole, and they say, okay, since 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 the vaccine is the fear of the
Hmm.
vaccine
Yes, absolutely.
is your deciding factor,
Hmm.
then what's your solution? What's your solution?
Mm.
Since you don't since that's not the solution, which it may or may not be, because now some that if you can get like for instance, if my whole family, cousins, uncles, sisters, brothers are vaccinated, they say we can gather together without our masks. We sit down at the table, have a ball. As long as we don't have nobody in the midst that is
Hmm.
not vaccinated, we can go about our lives,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? That's what
Hmm.
they say. They say. Oh, and then here comes someone that is not vaccinated.
Okay.
Then they wear their mask and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
okay. So if that is not the logical solution, because evidently something is going on when you're better off, seemingly you're better off. Not saying that
Hmm.
you can't catch the vaccine, that virus, but you have a better chance. And I'm not trying to promote it. I promise you I'm not. I'm just saying if we everybody desires, because I'm tired of losing loved ones,
Hmm.
because evidently it's happening. If that the thing about it is, if that's not the solution, then what is?
Hmm.
That's the question on the table for society. If that is not, because it's real. There are people getting sick. There are people dying. There are people
But Tucson
going.
is them taking your money? Is I mean, I know money is a great motivator. It is. It is. It's a great
Yeah,
motivator, and it make people do different things at different times. But is taking their money that they work for? They work all these hours to get this money. Is taking their money the solution?
well, it's insurance now. We got insurance now. We got
Hmm.
insurance policy because you traveling,
But they already had
and when you
insurance.
travel,
They're adding $200, and my thing is, I understand what you're saying, but my thing is this right here too, though. Who came up with that amount? $200. Is it?
somebody, CEO, some
Yeah.
CEO, someone that's in the insurance business,
Mm-hmm.
someone that is connected with and have consulted with the liability,
Mm-hmm.
the risk. You're more of a risk to not only yourself but the customer. The customer is supposed to be the one that we target,
Mm-hmm.
and see the customer saying, "Have your crew been vaccinated?"
Mm-hmm.
And if your answer is no, then they go fly with Sprint
Mm-hmm.
or somebody else or drive. But you can't drive across water.
No. No. They ain't came out with that
So you
technology
so
yet.
you become so you become a liability. And I'm not
Uh-huh.
too smart, but I'm not stupid now.
Mm-hmm.
You become a liability. So when you become a liability, they have to make that claim. I'm not, I wish somebody else called that's brighter than I am
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you.
because it's all about money
Mm-hmm.
and they
It's
weigh it out.
but Tucson.
It's just like you at your home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you stay in a whatever neighborhood, it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
How do you remain safe?
Mm-hmm.
Are you good with are you comfortable with having a dinner with all your known friends and relatives, and we just say, you don't have, you just come. We're not asking you any questions. We're not worried about whether you're vaccinated. We're not worried about whether you wear your mask. We're not worried about none of that. You just
Mm-hmm.
come.
Yeah, but Tucson,
Let me
see,
say it again.
but yeah,
How is that gonna work out for you?
mm-hmm. I'm with you, man. But my thing is this right here, and Delta is such a powerful airline. Delta is one of the
Hmm.
maybe number one in the world. And to have these
Hmm.
people that work for Delta, to have the people work for Delta all this time, and all of a sudden, first you say you don't have to get vaccinated, it's not a requirement. And then you come back with a stipulation and say, well, you don't have to get vaccinated. But if you decide that you don't want
Hmm.
to get vaccinated, we're going to collect $200 out of your check every time you get paid, $200 a month out of your check for insurance purposes. You already taking insurance out of my money.
Hmm.
You already taking it, and insurance is
Hmm.
already high. And now,
Hmm.
so now, what is it that make you think that you could just add $200 more? Now I'm working my fingers to the bone, like the old people used to say,
Hmm.
trying to get ahead. And now you put another stumbling
Hmm.
block before me because I decided I didn't want to get vaccinated. I didn't want to subject myself to this vaccination. I didn't want to allow you to stick something in my arm and inject me with something. Now you're going to
Hmm.
charge me $200 a month.
So let
Delta's
me
gonna lose a
ask
lot
this
of employees,
question
man.
again.
Delta's gonna lose a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
ask the
employees.
question. I'm gonna ask the question again. How much is it worth for you to want to make a stand?
Mm,
I mean, that's what it amounts to. Because here's what I believe that happened. Just a thought. I'm thinking. I don't think too well because sometimes I do some crazy stuff. That means I'm ignorant about a lot of stuff. But I'm just thinking. When they made the decision, something started happening and it started affecting the company as a whole.
Mm.
So they had to go back to the decision makers, and the decision makers came in desiring a report of, since you made this decision, what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened, I promise you, that when they analyzed it, they came up with that solution because that was the best. That's what the best thing to do for the business. It's all
Wow.
about business. You
Yeah.
know, if you
Yeah.
don't like it, they like this. They might do like some of the companies. If you don't like it, go work somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. And I
That's
think
what some companies are saying.
I think Delta's gonna lose a lot of employees, man, of people that's been there with them for a long
Hmm.
time, because
Yeah,
some people feel real strongly about not taking that vaccination, and
yeah,
to have the job to say that,
sure.
you have to take this back if you're going to continue to work here, you have to take this vaccination. Tucson, that's a lot, brother. That's a lot. Let's go to
That's
a
a
song.
lot. I, Go ahead. I mean, that's good. I mean, hey,
We're gonna go to a
I
song.
went.
Go ahead.
No, I went 1,000 miles last week.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 miles one way to go to my son's graduation in Illinois for the Navy Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I didn't have a copy of a vaccination card to get into the graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get in.
Mm.
I wasn't mad with him. I wasn't mad with him
Uh-huh.
because
Just
I made that
safety.
decision
Yeah.
to not to. What I
Mm.
was going to raise hell with him with
Mm-hmm.
the military?
No.
How would that work out?
No, that's not gonna be a good look, brother. That's
Start cussing and fussing,
and any
but that's my son.
yeah, I understand, but I'm thinking
And you
something.
mean to tell me that I traveled all this way and y'all not gonna let me in?
No, sir. You're not gonna be able to come in. No, sir. No, sir.
So what?
Mm-hmm.
So what you think that if I would have pushed it, you think that we
Woo!
would be? You think we would be having a conversation right now?
No, sir. I'm gonna tell you, and more people don't.
What is it? What is it worth? You can leave this alone if you want to, but I'm just asking, what is it worth to you to make a
Mm-hmm. I understand what you're saying, and some people's want to make that stance, and I want to hear from everybody else. Give us a call 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Should a company like Delta Airlines, put a stipulation out there? They at first they said, they came forward, they said, we're not going to require our employees to get vaccinated. They said that, and the truth of the matter, they're standing behind that. But what they're saying now is, if you decide that you do not want to get vaccinated, we're going to charge you $200 a month out of your insurance. $200 a month, an additional $200 a month, because of the fact that you decide that you don't want to get vaccinated, because we got all these claims against us because of all the stipulation that's going on, and people saying this and being hospitalized and all this stuff. And so what they're saying basically is, they're going to add an additional $200 fee on each employee that is not vaccinated. Now, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to worry about it. No harm, no foul. You don't have to worry about it. You're good. You're good. Thank you. Good boy. Good girl. But if you decide that you don't want to get that vaccine, if you decide that you do not want them to stick a needle in your arm and inject you with something, if you decide that you don't worry about your rights, we ain't gonna say nothing about your rights. We ain't gonna talk about that. That's not the conversation today. We're gonna talk about no rights, but we are going to say that if you decide that you don't want to do it, we're going to charge you an additional $200 on your insurance a
stay?
month.
Raheem,
Yes, sir.
you said something. You said something.
Mm-hmm.
When we got into the conversation with the two employees, I put them on the speakerphone and let them talk to the people that I was talking to. And what one of the guys says, he says, he entered into the conversation as me as my rights. I think I'm you're intruding, or I can't use the word right, but on the rights of me as an American and a citizen of this country, and and I pay my taxes, and they stopped and they said, let's let's just leave America out of it right now,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just talk about being an employee.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told him.
Wow.
Let's just leave the rights to be an American, and let's talk about you being an employee
Mm-hmm.
of this company.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told him. Like,
Wow.
you want me to repeat?
They cut
You repeat it again?
they they cut the legs from up on them too, son. They cut the leg.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm telling you what a conversation I heard,
Mm-hmm.
because we talking about a multi-billion dollar, or maybe trillion-dollar company
Yes.
that um uh keeps does things to keep this country safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and an employee of this company that is an American, that works for a company that keeps this country safe,
Mm-hmm.
told him, let's just leave America out of this conversation.
we look,
you are an,
we
you
ain't gonna worry
are
about
an
that.
employee. Let's talk about you being an employee.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you, caller.
How you know them sounds, man? You don't learn, you learn those sounds. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
The great Rico Jackson, calling from Anderson, Alabama. Grand Rising, everybody.
Hey, look at, we got the legend on with us this morning. That's the legend, Rico Jackson. Look, Mondlico. Good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Man, I can't complain. How everybody doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Man, we asking a question. We asking a question, and I need to hear. At first, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about the companies that was actually let me see. Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family. That's Captain Leonard speaking to us this morning. Good morning, Captain Leonard. How you doing this morning? But we are having a conversation, and Delta was one of the one first. United said, no, American said they everybody had to be vaccinated. All the employees got to be vaccinated. Delta was one of them that said, no, we're not going to require our employees to be vaccinated. We're not going to do that. But now they've come back and they standing on that. You don't have to. But if you decide that you don't want to be vaccinated, they're going to add an additional $200 per month onto your insurance. And you have to pay $200 a month in addition to the insurance you're already paying. Rico, what is this?
Well, it still ain't too bad of a price to keep flying the friendly skies. $200 pretty reasonable price. Then at the same time too, Delta, man, they're in a bad situation. They want to try their best to make sure they don't have any problem because this thing named after them. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say it's named after them, but they share the same name.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Imagine sharing the name of this thing, and that's the name of your company.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, and I know I'm pretty sure that doesn't have a reason of it. I'm being funny, but at the same time, if you got the passengers have to wear, why not the employees?
Mm-hmm.
And then I could go a little deeper than that. Quit. See, what can happen is we can soon wake up and still realize that when we go and sign a contract or make an agreement to work with these companies, they still have full control. Mm-hmm. So they're letting you know it's our company. We can hire somebody to replace you in a heartbeat. So we have to really understand, once again, when we are working for somebody, we are dependent on them for our survival, and we have to play by their rules. But I'm going to tell you the biggest trick of all, we ain't even realized, and this might go a little sideways, but imagine people thinking that they're out of slavery, but then the people that created money laughing and saying they ain't out of slavery yet. We done tricked them. Mm-hmm. We done got these people to come and do the same work that we was getting for free for paper. Mm-hmm. We made them value paper, and we put different number amounts on the paper. and they ain't pay them for it.
Mm-hmm.
So now they went and begged for all these rights to get out of slavery, and then they signed the contract and signed the application to get right back into it for pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now we still under their control. We call it a job.
Yep.
Because we working for paper.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So now we actually think we in a good position when really and truly we just traded everything off of paper. We traded slavery for paper. So deep down inside, I think they at least realize that. And we don't realize it. That's why we go to a job and we feel like what they make, the rules they make aren't fair. But as their company quit, this virus, what this virus could possibly do is make everybody realize that we were supposed to be self-sufficient and never dependent on these big companies like this that go and take resources. The ones that come up with the technology in the industry. Yes, they might need us, but without us, they can't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But we value this paper so much that we volunteer to be slaves and we don't even realize it.
Wow.
So now you want to take that shot. You want to keep that money. You want to keep surviving. Want to keep living that good life and taking pictures at every stop that you get into every city. Take that shot and get on that plane. If not, quit and make your own money.
Mm-hmm. Wow. and that's powerful, because when I heard that line of conversation right there, I always, for whatever reason, go back to athletes, and people say that athletes are getting paid millions of dollars, and I always say that athletes just a high powered slave. But that's just me talking, man. That's me getting sidetracked a little bit. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? But I love that, Rico. Got another caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, you there?
What's up, Ryan? It's Kurt, man.
Kurt, what's going on? What's going on, Kurt? How you doing this morning?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. What's going on with y'all?
Well, we're talking about Delta Airlines, and we don't want to be cruel to Delta, but that's just one of the ones that we know of right now that's doing this, that's saying this. At first, they say they wasn't going to require their employees to take the vaccine, and they're pretty much standing behind that. But they put a stipulation on. They say that if you decide that you do not want to get the vaccination, then we're going to charge you an additional $200 in insurance on top of what you're already paying. You're already paying insurance, and we all know insurance is high. You're already paying whatever we will charge you, but we're going to put an additional $200 a month on that because you decide that you don't want to get this needle stuck in your arm. Kurt, what are you hearing, man?
What's my opinion on that?
Yes.
Oh, they got the right to do what they want to do. When it goes back to what we was talking about when I said, when I was telling you that the only way a vaccine can be mandated is when it's 100% approved.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's 100% approved by the FDA, a given company and/or individual can mandate, and/or organization can mandate that you take the vaccine, but it's got to be 100% approved. So now that the 100% approval for the one has been done,
the Pfizer
companies can mandate according to what they want. I think the real conversation should be the insurance companies. Like, okay, so I said this a long time ago on the show. I said, look, watch how they gonna press to get the pre-existing condition clause out of the insurance. That ain't nothing but a backdoor to the pre-existing conditions clause. It ain't nothing but a backdoor. The insurance companies, they was trying to get the pre-existing clause removed out. They've been trying for years. COVID, they thought was going to be an easier window for them to get it removed, right? So all they was going to do was, okay, with COVID, now you go to apply for some insurance, and you tell the insurance company that you had COVID, they was going to automatically deny you coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So now what happened? Oh, we got a mandate, so now we can raise our price on our premium. The company ain't going to take that over the head. That's a part of Reaganomics, and we still living by the rule of Reaganomics. So no, the employees and them customers going to eat that. I mean, it's a racket, but I can't be mad at Delta for saying, look, if you don't take this vaccine, you're gonna have to pay $200 additional.
And see,
My thing is
this right. My thing is this right here, Curtis. My thing is this right here, and I can understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can understand what you're saying. Who came up with that particular amount? $200. Okay, we're gonna just reach up in the sky. We're gonna pull out. Okay, it's gonna be $200. You're gonna pay an additional $200 a month. Where did they come up with this number?
No, they came up with the number because the insurance company probably raised their premium. So when the insurance company raised their premium, let's say the insurance company raised their premium about $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
So Delta's on the hook for a certain percentage of that $200,000, although their overall insurance premium is way higher than that. Mm-hmm. But the additional raise as a result of, you know what I'm saying, the vaccine being approved and it being able to be mandated, the insurance company says it's called a risk assessment. Mm-hmm. The insurance company says, okay, we insure you in a plane. Where that's a tube, man. Ain't no other way to put it. That's a tube.
I can agree.
I pray before I get on. I pray once I'm on. I pray as soon as them wheels touch down, and I pray when we hit the concourse.
But listen to this.
I pray once I walk through the tunnel. So
okay, but listen to this right here. I can agree with that if they had said that for everybody. But you're categorizing this thing. You're saying that if you have had the vaccination, you're fine. We're not gonna charge you anything. You okay? Good boy, good girl. You know, you okay. But the ones that did not have it, you know, if they're charging them X amount of money, they're charging it across the board. So you can't pick and choose. Okay, we got 10 people in here. Okay, now 5 of y'all, we're gonna charge y'all this money. Y'all be responsible for this. Your other 5, y'all okay. Don't worry about it. You ain't gotta pay nothing. Just keep going like you always been going. Everything's gonna stay the same. That's why I have an issue.
No, well, why would you have an issue
because they charging these people and not charging those people, Curtis?
The rule is you get vaccinated, right?
Yes.
The rule is you get vaccinated. And the science says that, look, those who are vaccinated stand a lesser chance of being hospitalized, which means the insurance company got to pay, or those who stand a greater chance of dying, which means the insurance company got to pay.
I don't see how that goes with. I understand what you're saying, and you're not wrong in what you're saying, but from where I'm sitting, I don't understand that. And the reason why I don't understand that because you're saying you know, make it clear to me, because right now it's not clear. But my thing is this right here. You're saying if I'm vaccinated, I don't have to worry about anything. I'm fine. You know, I could go ahead in life as usual. And you're not gonna charge me any more insurance, anything. But you're saying that, you know, the ones that are not vaccinated, you're the problem. We're gonna charge you $200 or more a month. We're gonna charge you $200 more a month. But these other people, because of the fact that they went on and got vaccinated, we're not gonna charge them. If you're charging a fee, you're charging a fee across the board. You're charging a fee at the top. This is what it's gonna cost you. And you can't just go into this company and say, well, you know, we're gonna make you pay this. We're gonna make you pay it because you're the problem. You didn't get vaccinated, so we're gonna charge it to you. We're not gonna charge them. Charlie's vaccinated already, so we're not gonna charge Charlie nothing.
So let me ask you a question. Here's an easier way to put it. So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you was vaccinated,
yes.
If you was vaccinated, fully vaccinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel having to pay a higher premium for as a result of people who have not made the choice to be fully vaccinated?
What is the difference between
that choice not to hold on? If you made that choice not to be fully vaccinated, then here's the consequence for that. You made that choice. You stood on your right. That right may have come with a price. For example,
hurry up, because I gotta pull some more people in.
If I choose to go out here and smack the first person that I see, right? If I choose to do that, and then the police come and they lock me up, I can't then be mad because I got locked up. I made a conscious choice which had a consequence. Now, what the science is saying is that those who are fully vaccinated, if they get the coronavirus, most of them don't even have to be hospitalized.
Okay, but Curtis, let me say this. Let me say this because I want to pull some more people. We got a couple of calls, and I want to pull the people that's on. I want to make sure they are part of the conversation as well. But let me ask you this question, and it's rhetorical. It's a rhetorical question. From what you just said, and the people that's vaccinated don't have to pay anything, but the people that are not vaccinated have to pay all this money, the rise of the insurance fees, they got to do all that. What is the difference between that? If we're going to take it from where you came from, what's the difference between that and being privileged?
And being privileged?
Yes, there's no difference. There's no difference. Hold on, Kurt. I got to pull some more people into the conversation. Don't go to web. I'm coming back to you. We got. Hold. I said it was rhetorical, brother. I said it was a rhetorical question. Okay, we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Told you what a T?
Okay, I was getting ready to say that. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, hello. How you doing?
Doing good. You heard this conversation that we're talking about, man. Is Delta right or wrong? Because everybody got their own opinion, and nobody's opinion is their opinion. You can't say that they're wrong in their opinion. I can't say Curtis is wrong in his opinion. I can't say that because that's his opinion. Mine's just a little bit different. But what do you say to this? How do you view this thing?
Well, hey, whatever they got to do to force our hand, I feel like it's finding different ways to force our hand to take this vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer understand what the difference is because if you get a vaccine and you can still carry it and be contagious, like I don't understand the difference between being vaccinated or not vaccinated. So now for them to come and apply force and pressure, that's basically what I feel like they're doing right now. But it's no different than anything else. It's no different than having a pre-existing condition. Going up on my premium does not mean I'm going to get better health care just because I'm African American. We've had issues with health care before Corona where we are not getting the same symptoms and treatment on the inside. So that doesn't make me feel any better. You know what I mean? But I mean, hey, this is something that they feel is necessary to help protect their company financially due to the pandemic. Forget all the other thousands of things that we need as human beings out here during the pandemic. Did everybody get a $200 increase on their jobs that got the vaccine to pay for it or something? So no, I feel like these are techniques that they're using to force our hand when they get done. We're going to go through the whole revelation era to where those of us that don't have it won't be able to get food and things of that nature. So I'm just sitting in the background watching very, very closely to things that's unfolded in the Afghanistan and here and now with the shot or the vaccine and now Delta. I'm just like, I don't agree with it. I don't think that's the call with all this Corona money, and the government should be sending them funding for that because this is not our fault. This is not something that we are going out to do or catch or anything like that. So for me to be forced to have to do that, I think it's just a money operation at this point.
And Captain Leonard, I'm gonna read some of the stuff Captain Leonard, he said he's actually listening to us this morning. Good morning again, Leonard. He said boycott Delta. They are just trying to extort employees. And he also said our ancestors couldn't quit slavery, and that's based on something that was said earlier. And 100% approved, but not 100% effective. The choice is still at your own risk. Rico, what's on your heart? Tucson, come to you next.
Yeah, I mean, I can go along with what Toya is saying. To a certain extent, I mean, there's a whole lot of layers to this. And that's the way this thing goes. You have certain situations throughout history where people had studies and they took people and they did those studies on them, some secretly and some publicly. And this might just be a practice that they're trying to see if it can work throughout the system to see if they can put pressure on people to go ahead and take the vaccine. Toya is completely right. And what they would have been better off saying, well, you know what? We'll give y'all a bonus if you got a vaccine. Maybe we'll I'm trying to say they couldn't give them a discount. Maybe they give them a $200 voucher or something like that. You know what I'm saying? For the people that have vaccines instead of penalizing those that didn't get it. See, here it is. Now you're in the time where people have been getting stimulus packages and all these increases on unemployment just to survive. Now you're trying to find a way to take money from people again.
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion corporation, all up in the travel industry, and then you want to charge your employees because they won't conform.
Exactly.
So I go back to that. I know what Leonard was saying about the ancestors. They couldn't quit slavery. Yeah, and slavery doesn't exist, but I'm pretty sure if money was the issue, they would have volunteered for it. See, I'm gonna go back to that once again. That company has the right to do what it wants to do. You put in an application to go and work for that company. You volunteered to apply to go do labor for that company for that paper that you find value in. And they hired you and said, well, okay, we're gonna pay you this paper. We're gonna give you raises based on what we decide or when we decide to give you raises. You don't say, well, I want to raise every 6 months. Matter of fact, I take that back straight. I want to raise every week. You don't make those decisions. You're working for somebody.
Exactly.
For that little paper that they put different numbers on. So whether our ancestors did it or not, what we doing today, what y'all doing, is volunteering to be slaves. But that money is money over everything.
Wow. Toussaint, talk to me.
If you ever want an African American Negro to feel guilty, call him a slave for taking care of his family, for not having to steal, or not being an entrepreneur, for not having a business mind, but work with their hands, never having to worry about the light being going off, being turned off, the mortgage being paid, sending the kids to college, having a 401 that may work or may not. I can leave right now as I speak, and I have put away a retirement, and I can go choose to work for myself if I want to. That'll be my choice. But if you ever want a black person to feel guilty about making an honest living, call him a slave. If I give you $100 bill or $1 bill, doesn't the $100 bill have more value? I'm not talking about perception. I'm talking about reality. If I go to the store, can I buy groceries with $1 bill? Rather, can I go to the store and it may be the stupidest person in the world. If I give them a $100 bill, would they give me more? That's how we operate. So here's me. They don't have to give me a dime. I'm frustrated with going to funerals. You gotta do something. They said, okay, since it's not approved by the FDA or whoever it is, then we don't even know. Well, it is now. So now we have to make another point. And I'm not for it. I'm not for it or against it, because I don't join nobody's crowd, and I'm not nobody's slave, because I do what I want to do, and I'm not persuaded by nobody because I'm not a follower. I lead in my own way, and if anybody is leading and nobody's following them, they're just taking a walk. If somebody said that, I just picked that up. That's not mine.
Yeah, I thought that was yours, brother.
What is mine is do what you want to do in this pandemic, and let's see how that work out for you. So, because see, somebody got to take the cost, because it's all about money. They didn't give me a dime to make my decision for my life.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't twist my arm. They didn't say we're gonna chain you up, send you back to Africa. They didn't tell me none of that. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't confide in anybody. I don't trust nobody,
Mm-hmm.
regardless to whether I thought I would make a decision and just don't say nothing. But who cares what I do? Because at the end of the day, everybody make their own decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you do. I really don't. It don't make no difference. I know one thing. You can't come to my house if I don't care if you got three masks on. Because you're not nobody's I don't have people in and out of my house because I don't know what you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
That didn't start during the pandemic. I'm like Rico. I've been secluded. I'm good. I've
Mm-hmm.
been good. But what I'm saying is I don't have to have a massive mentality to make my own choices. I
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Okay. That's
So
good.
when the person or when it's said, then I just say, oh well, you do you and I do me, and let's all just enjoy this pandemic together.
Mm. Mm. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Hold on, Curtis. Before you go, let me read this. Leonard said that company can't create any policies that violate workers' rights according to the Department of Labor. Curtis,
What's the violation in there, right?
say it again.
What's the violation in that right? The company is saying, okay, look, if you don't have a vaccine, if you're not fully vaccinated, then your premium is going to be $200 extra a year.
A
So that
month.
means that they're probably going to pull, instead of you paying $150, instead of you paying $150, you might wind up paying $170. Okay, that's okay. You made a choice to do that. That's what you don't have to do. What you don't have to do is get the company insurance. You can go and get insurance on your own. You can go to Humana. I told y'all a long time ago, if we just talking dollars and cents, I told y'all a long time ago, I said, look, man, this thing gonna be the greatest robbery in the history of the world. I said that 4 years, 5 years ago. But that still don't negate from the fact that ever since 1982, when Reaganomics came in, the rule in company, the rule in business was a business would profit 30%, and the overall overhead to operate your operating costs, you would probably spend between 70 and 60%. If you spent 60%, 10% of your 10% of your cost would be miscellaneous. That's what the rule was prior to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan came in with Reaganomics and he flipped it. He said businesses have the right to profit 70% and only pay out 30% in overhead. That's why a lot of your retirement things changed. That's why all of a sudden they came out with the 401k and the 501 this, that, and the third 401b because of Reaganomics. So what you're seeing is companies are pushing their operating costs off to either the consumer or the employee. That's just business. I hate to say it. I say all the time, capitalism without a conscience is corruption. Well, guess what? We saying it. If you don't want their insurance, you have the right to deny the insurance. It's funny how sometimes we can talk about employee rights, and I'm a strong proponent for employee rights. I'm an employee. But now a business has a right too. And if you go by the rules of Reaganomics and the rules of economics, today's modern economics, a company can push their overhead off on you as the employee. It's up to you to take it. I'm living that right now. My wife does not have her company's insurance. Why? Because the premiums was too high. So we had to literally go online and find an insurance, right? and find an insurance that was cheaper. Now, if Delta or whoever, I think it's Delta we talk about,
Yes.
if Delta is mandating for its employees to have a specific insurance, that is a violation of their rights.
Mm-hmm.
That is a violation of about 4 or 5 rights. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But if they're not mandating that you have their insurance, then it really shouldn't even be an argument. If I didn't take the vaccine, okay, guess what? I tell you what, since y'all want to do that, I'll drop y'all insurance because I can go over to Humana and get insured.
Mm-hmm.
But they got that right as a company. It's just like, okay, so what are we going to say? What do we say about a company telling women that you cannot wear any clenchetas or open-toe shoes in our company? You cannot wear any item that is too tight. All your shirts must be neck high. You cannot show no cleavage. What do we say about that?
I think apples and oranges. Let me read this here to you. This is what Leonard said in opposition.
Hold right in.
Curtis, we gotta move on, brother. We got a lot of people, Curtis.
Hold on, why you always do me like that, bro?
Because Curtis, you talk a long time, brother. Curtis, you talk a long time.
Do me like that, man. No, right in.
Curtis, Curtis, you talk a long time, brother. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
You do that to me all the time, though, bro.
Curtis, we got 3 minutes. But Curtis, you talk a long time, brother. There's a 3 minute calls on everybody that's on here, brother. That includes you too.
Okay. All right.
Exactly. He said exactly, Curtis. That company still focus. Let me get myself where I can see this. Still faces huge legalities issues in there as it relates to imposing healthcare premiums. Employees can opt out of the company's insurance. They can't summarily garnish wages for healthcare premiums.
Okay, so they can't garnish wages. They're not telling you they garnish wages. That's not what they're telling you. Come on, man. Leonard know the law. They're not telling you they're garnishing wages. What they're saying is this is your option. Okay, if you don't do it, then you don't work here. But okay, or if you want to work here, then you will have to pay this. All you gotta do is just opt out of the insurance.
Wow.
Go
Hold
find
on.
you some insurance somewhere else.
Okay, hold on, Curtis. Hold on, Curtis. Hold on.
It's just crazy to me how we get amped about the things that we want to get amped about. You know what I'm saying?
Because
we like
you get
to
amped too,
stand
brother.
on law and we like to stand on rights, but then we ignore the rights when the rights don't work in our favor.
But Curtis, you getting amped too, brother. I mean, you just as passionate about this as everybody else. Hold on.
I'm getting amped because bro, you're trying to make me sound like I don't have a clue what I'm saying.
No, never have I said that.
Wow.
Never have I said that.
Like, but it's okay.
No, it has nothing to do with you not knowing what you're saying, brother. You taking this thing way too personal, Curtis. You're taking it way too personal, Curtis. But let me do this. We got a couple of calls. Hold on, Curtis. Hold on. We got a call from the 252 area code. 252 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Dr. Cook.
Dr. Cook, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm well. I just caught the tail end of the question. I was listening to what Mr. Curtis said.
Mm-hmm.
He's entitled to his opinion, but others do not feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the media and other areas are taking this thing a little bit too far. And I think that they're making people go against each other. And I'm saying we all have rights. Yes, we do. Now, we know that this item has not been out very long. And I'm saying it's a sign of the time. It talks, a lot of this stuff is talked about in the Bible. People going against each other. You have all of this little stuff being placed out here. Now, for myself, I'm not vaccinated. I know everything that we did beforehand, and it's still working for me. The mask, wearing your gloves, making sure your hands are taken care of or sanitized. Now, I'm saying if people are still doing that, they got a right to basically not have that vaccine. They're doing all the precautions. Mm-hmm. Now, all of this other stuff that's going on, they're trying to basically push people into something. When you have something going on where you're trying to push people into something, that should throw up red flags. Now, this is my opinion. So now, if anyone else want to take it, that's on them. Now, these private companies have the right to do whatever they want to do. But these public companies that's receiving public money, they don't. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to basically be respectful with different things, and I'm not going to argue anything like that. But when you're basically talking about people's livelihoods, people got to start thinking about that as well. Now, you have people that are basically are not vaccinated, and they don't wear their mask because they basically feel that they don't have to. Now, that's wrong. And people that are vaccinated that's not wearing, I'm saying we basically, no one knows anything, so everyone needs to take the precautions. But as far as going that other route, as far as saying you won't have insurance if that's a private company, okay, you don't have insurance, but I'm saying your money is going to start decreasing. I would just leave it there.
Good deal, good deal. We have another call. I think it's Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. Cassandra, you've been listening in for a minute. What do you think about this whole situation, man? What do you stand on this whole Delta? You know, this $200 and charging this person and charging that person. Who's right, who's wrong, or how does this thing line up? Cassandra, what do you see?
I'm actually not familiar with what we're talking about. I didn't catch enough to know what did Delta do?
Well, Delta at first, when American Airlines said that all their employees have to be vaccinated, they say if you're gonna work for us, you got to be vaccinated. Delta didn't take that stance. They say we're not gonna make everybody get vaccinated. Then they just came back and they said, well, the ones that do not get vaccinated, we're going to charge you an additional $200 a month on your insurance. We're going to charge you an additional $200 a month because you're not vaccinated. The ones that are vaccinated, you're fine. Operation is same as usual. Nothing changed. But they're going to charge the one that's unvaccinated $200 a month. Are they right? Are they wrong? Or what are you hearing this?
Well, I mean, they have a right to do that as a company, because, as you know, I'm in the film industry, and they are many of the production companies, Disney and others. They are mandating for you to be vaccinated in order to work, because literally it is hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars a day. If they have to shut down a production because someone has COVID, and I've seen it happen a few times, and it is very costly to them. So it's a choice, like everyone has said. If you don't want to work on the film, then you just back out. It's okay. Don't take the vaccination. Same thing with Delta. If you don't want to work for Delta, go find another job, because if they're mandating or their rules say boom, 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 then either you're going to get on board with what they've asked, or you go somewhere. It's an option. You can go work somewhere else, but they have a right as a company to protect their interests, and that's all it is. They're protecting their interests.
Wow. Let me read this. What Captain Leonard said, and then we're gonna go to some more people. Told you what the T. We're coming to you next. He said companies have laws to abide by as well. The government could rule against these actions. The main issue is that most people don't fight back. For example, right to work has always been misconstrued. Dr. Cook is right. Delta has not actually imposed this policy. It is most likely it will not, because of the fallback. And he said because of the fallback also hurts the business. And the second part, if I can get to this, hold on, bear with me. Okay. If you think you have no power, it's much easier to take advantage of you. Stand up, fight back. Toya, what what's on your heart?
Oh, I'm all about the fight. Absolutely. Listen, this is America. We know how this goes. We're still slaves. We just get paid a little bit of money. When they did set us, they had their little things that they did. You're free now. Oh, well, you got to get this. Oh, you're free. You know what I'm saying? Well, but got to get this now. Oh, wait a minute. That's your house? Oh, no, you got to have a deed. A deed? What is a deed? Yeah, and if you don't have a deed, you're gonna come get this, that, and third. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they do. Very devised at making sure they get us slaves, all every last one of us, to do what they say do. You know, slaves, the slavery reminded me of parenthood. If you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm gonna whoop you. If you don't do what I tell you to do, you might not get nothing to eat. Because I said do this. You don't do what I told you to do, I might not get you no clothes. I'm not gonna be able to get you afford for you these things that you're supposed to get for being my child because you didn't do what I told you to do. It's real crazy and real funny, but again, at the end of the day, this is America. We all know America's gonna get their thing done, and like Leonard said, absolutely right. We need to fight because let's talk about Constitution. Constitutionally, a couple things they're not supposed to do, but it isn't until they change those constitutional rights that they can't do it no more. And that's what it is, you know. But hey, you know, listen, let me tell you something, Raheem. I'm so sick and tired of talking about the corona thing and all this division. Like I don't even want to talk about it no more. It is what it is. Do what you do. Go get you a shot, and then you already got you a shot, and keep it moving. Leave me alone. And if I ain't got a shot and you got one, I'm gonna leave you alone. And now these corporations coming in again, making bigger waves us to be against each other. Because let me tell you something, people are losing their mind about people who don't have a shot, even though you have a shot. What's the problem? Don't you have a shot? Aren't you protected? Or are you mad because I'm gonna be a carrier? No, I'm mad you're gonna be a carrier. But you're a carrier too, even if you have the shot. So see, this is just this mental mind game. They've ran out of absolute things to do. This is a mental mind game they playing to yet again have us all divided and have us going just acting bonkers and out of their minds. That's how I feel about it. I don't. I'm not that. I can't. I can't do this anymore with people. I just can't. It's too much. It's too much. It is what it is, you know. And then what relief do I have? Okay, so because I don't want to take it because of previous issues that I've experienced with going to the doctor, I don't get no relief to pay that $200. So we just gonna roll with because you don't want to do it because what you've been through, and regardless that people are still getting vaccinated, spreading it, and not getting vaccinated, spreading it. Since you don't want to take it and you don't want to do what we want to do, we're gonna outcast you. You don't get no help. You already are making enough money to pay for stuff in Corona that came in. And since you don't want to do what we told you to do, you got to pay more money. And it ain't no help and assistance. I'm sick of it, man. There's so many things that's been on since Corona that they haven't stepped up to the plate and made sure we have. And now here we go again, making sure we paying out more money. They're making sure of that. We have forgot about everything else that the medical system has done and been doing wrong and misdiagnosing the medicine that they're putting out there that's killing you for the liver, even though it cured the psoriasis. And now we on a whole nother level of hope to where we're saying that they're giving us a shot that they said is still transferring corona. And now we're going to pay an additional $200 to single me out because I don't have it, and I'm doing the same thing as a vaccinated person, charging crap, traveling it around just like a vaccinated person.
Good deal. Exactly.
Ridiculous, man.
Absolutely.
Ridiculous. Afghanistan, we need to be talking about Afghanistan and them bombings. That's what we need to be talking about.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm glad Toya came through like that, man, because she hit it on the head with the same thing I was talking about. See, some people look at the words that I said about slavery from the employee point of view. I'm looking at it from the corporation. Oh, I meant plantation point of view. Just like coronavirus evolved, guess what indentured servitude did? Employee, indentured servant. Corporation, plantation. This is a 2021 spin. And you did not merge with this plantation, come in 50-50 with capital, saying, okay, now I own half the company, and I dictate what this company does. Now, you can fight it. I was a union rep, but there was a thing called general company rules that a company would come in to sort of go against the contract. Always an obstacle, something to contradict the other rules that the employees, indentured servants, I'm sorry for saying slaves, y'all. I meant mental slavery. Indentured servants. The indentured servants or the employees had certain rights, and then the plantation came back and said, well, we're going to come up with general plantation rules. And if you work for us, these are rules you got to abide by, and they supersede everything. Because I run this here. This is my plantation, boy. So what you going to do? You're going to get this shot because we got to protect all these people on this plane throughout the United States and all these flights that we make. Mm-hmm. We got to protect these people. And what you got to understand is that you came to work for me. Mm-hmm. And now what I said goes. See, we are the same thing to these corporations as employees as the indentured servants of the slaves were to plantation owners. Numbers. Mm-hmm. Numbers. Wow. So Delta has the right to do what they want to do. Leonard was right. You can stand up and be the wild hell like I was and fight. You can fight this corporation. You might get blackballed in the end. Mm-hmm. They might put a flag on you and have you messed up when you go certain places. Don't nobody want to touch you no more because you one of them people that goes against that system. Mm-hmm. See, we think just because they changed the word slavery and then did the service to employee that the system stopped. But that same system, it applies today. And that's what they're utilizing. So sometimes we feel a little offended when we hear certain words because we don't really understand that they don't bamboozle us with this paper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, true enough that you can get more with the $100 than you can with that dollar, but the only reason it worked because we allowed it. We still allowed it. So that was perfect for them. Hey, we could print the same amount of paper and just change up how many digits we put on it. And they're going to work just as hard for it and think it's more bad because they could get more stuff.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good.
And they're gonna depend on it. They're gonna depend on it for their survival, not understanding that they really should find a way to play the game, play the system like we playing it. Because whether they realize it or not, the plantation is still running the show.
Wow, Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm gonna say it again, man. Capitalism out of conscience is corruption. Mm-hmm. I do not deny. I am not saying that the ideology is not wrong. I'm just saying that the company has a right to govern themselves according to their ethical policies and procedures. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. And they got that right.
Exactly.
They got that right. Like you have the right to tell the company, no, look, I don't want to do that. I can go and work for Southwest.
Yeah.
Right now, they are so down in staff. It was just on our local news. I don't know if it was on y'all local news, but it was just on our local news. They are so down in staff. If you are a flight attendant, you can just about get a job in anybody's local government. The government right here, right now in Baltimore City is down 3,600 employees with another 3,400 due to retire before December. That they are looking to replace those positions. If you don't like it, go and work somewhere else. Or do like Rico did. Do like Rico saying. Start your own. Mm-hmm. But I hate to say it, because some of the rights that some of these businesses stand on is criminal. But you have the right to, hey, I don't want to work here no more. If that's the ethical standards that y'all gonna stand on, I'm out. And you can go and file for unemployment. And when they ask you why you left, because what they asked me to do was ethically against my morals and my values. Well, what do you mean? They mandated us to take a shot. And maybe you'll get an adjudicator who ain't vaccinated and believes the same way you believe, and he's gonna rule in your favor. Maybe you're not. But when you take a chance, when a rule comes out, even down to slavery, when the abolitionists decided with the slavery votes, when they decided to fight back, they fought back with the understanding that guess what? Some of us gonna die. Mm-hmm. Some of us gonna die. So if that's the rule, if that's the new rule that they done set up, they done set that up because they're looking out for their interests. I done lived with this thing around both sides of my family in my face. My cousin almost died from this thing. Now, if the science is saying, those who are vaccinated stand a better chance at living and not getting all up, you know what? I'm gonna stop right there. I just looked the other day at my COVID, because like Cassandra say, for us folks who are in the entertainment field, we are just about, if you working, you just about going to get a COVID test every other week. Because you got to get a COVID test for every new project that you do. And now you got to be fully vaccinated. So you just about getting a rod in your nose every other week or every month. Right? I just looked at the price. What the VA paid so that I could get tested for COVID. It was $450 and some change. Okay, so if we're going to argue anything, it's funny how they got us arguing against why we should get it or why we shouldn't. Ain't nobody arguing about the price, though. Ain't nobody arguing about how much money it costs. Ain't nobody even made the argument that it's funny that, to me, now I'm a big conspiracy theorist. It's funny to me how we got all of these sayings about this virus, about this vaccine, when the creator of the vaccine was a black female. But when one of they people created, there's no argument or nothing. It's funny how that lay out there. When one of they people create something, there's no argument about it at all. There's no kickback about it at all. When they was first starting it, there was no real kickback about the vaccine. All of a sudden, when they told the world that the vaccine was created by that black female doctor, all of a sudden there was a bunch of kickback.
Good deal.
I'm saying, what if the conspiracy theory is the opposite of what everybody is thinking? That's where I'm at with it. What if the conspiracy theory is, I'm gonna say it again, we're gonna create this virus, we're gonna put the antidote out there, we're gonna put the vaccine out there, but we know that the brown and the black folk don't trust us, so they're not gonna go and take it. Okay. So that we can always stand and hinge on the fact that we can say, it gives us clear immunity because we can say, we gave y'all the vaccine.
Okay. Hold right there, Curtis.
Put it out there.
Hold on, Curtis. Gotta move.
Take it.
Hold on, Curtis. Gotta move on, brother. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
I stand, the same place I said before, and I agree with Leonard and anybody that wants to fight their company for their rights, do that. I have no problem with that. But the bottom line is, I took the vaccine. I had high risk. I took it. I used all of the precautions that they said to use. I'm getting PCR tests like sometimes several times a week to do different movies. And that is what I choose to do in order to continue working. That is what is required, and that's what I do. Anybody that does not want to do that, please, by all means, fight for your rights or even find another job. I mean, you have options. Like I agree with everyone. You can fight, or you can take the options, or you can do what they've asked you to do. Whatever you choose to do, it's fine with me.
Exactly. Dr. Cook, what's on your heart?
I agree with everyone as well. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But I also want to note this, the African American black female doctor that created Moderna, basically she did, but she had to give it over, sign it over to the pharmaceutical company. So once she gave it to them, we don't know what the other companies placed into that particular vaccine. So it basically, they always use one of us in order to push something. And that's what it appears that has been going on for some time. That's all I hear now. I see African Americans on television, film people pushing this vaccine. So I'm saying, but there are a lot of Caucasian Americans that do not have this vaccine. There are a lot of Republicans that do not have this vaccine that's in office. So why don't they have it? I'm saying I don't talk against it. I don't talk for it.
Mm-hmm.
People do whatever you want to do, but I do basically keep my mind open to a lot of things that's going on around me. That's one thing I do. I keep my eyes open, and everyone needs to keep their eyes open too. You need to do your own research and do things for yourself that's going to make you happy. And no one needs to be pushing things on anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact. I'm saying that's all I have to say. And I appreciate Miss Cassandra's word that she just stated.
Absolutely, absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
Yeah, you know, since I was a little girl, it's been these people called they and them. I've never seen them. I don't know what they look like, but they always saying something, and it's always somebody in them that always got something to say, and that's what we got to be careful. So I really try to stay away from they and them, but in my lifetime, the governmental process, the days, I'm going to say, haven't been truthful. It's always an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And had we lived in this country with some integrity, we wouldn't be here right now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The lack of integrity has the people where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
They always said that Black people did something that did not do it. They always put us in positions to pay the consequences for things that they had done or created. So we must be very careful and think that there's no way out of 60 or 400 years that just right now they decided to stop lying. Statistically, 76% of Black people have been vaccinated. That goes in contrary to them saying that we are not getting vaccinated. Someone made a comment the other day and said that the spread is from the Black people. When how can that be when 76% of Black people have been vaccinated and 60% of White people have not? I mean, come on, we cannot.
Yeah.
We cannot keep listening to they and them. They and them ain't never there when it's rent time, and they and them ain't gonna be there when you gotta pay that $200 extra. But neither here nor there. Everything we do, right? We can't get distracted. Everything we do, every new drug that come out is a new something. When Corona first came out, you don't remember they was charged COVID test. Your medication that goes up, it's always something. They're always finding something new. So we can't get sidetracked on this like it's just COVID. This is what they do with every new something that they do. They got to get more money. They got to get more this. They got to get higher co-pays or whatever. They find a way to get the money that they need to keep planting their pockets, lining their pockets. But back to what Leonard said. We got to fight for our right to be healthy, like the Beastie Boys. I mean, I'm just saying, we doing all of this. And this is the thing that gets me, because vaccinated carries it, does the same thing just like the unvaccinated. There's no guarantee that vaccination is going to do anything. But are we making the different choices and decisions with or without the shot? Oh, I'm going to get the shot, so you're not going to do any better for your body. See, we got to be careful about humans. Humans are fickle. And we're sitting up here trying to see the government, they and them, they don't think about keeping everybody happy because we're special. And you'll never be able to make all of us humans happy. However, are we going to do what it takes for our own individual selves to make sure that we are safe, whether it's with a shot or without a shot? Are we going to make sure that if we get a shot, we take care of our bodies? Probably not. That's like wearing a condom. I'm gonna wear a condom because I don't want no kids, but you're gonna take the shot because you don't want to exercise. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't want to can't drink the smoothies or whatever, whoever. And when we first got the shot, they told everybody not to take their mask off anyway. They did anyway. So let's get 100. If you're gonna get this vaccine, you need to listen too. Don't go running around thinking you did something and then you defy the very same rules that they told us not to do and think that it's cool because it's not. So if we're going to be 100, we got to be all the way 100. And when we be all the way 100, 9 times out of 10, we just need to take that reflection of our own selves and be honest about what we are doing as individuals not the other person, because we'll see we are in violation too.
508-924-3521, 888-878-3521. Give us a call. We're going to switch up a little bit now. This is a topic that we've been trying to get to for the last few days. And we're going to use the last part of the broadcast to actually talk about this topic. And it might kind of line up with what we're already talking about, actually. But Rico, coming to you first. Money versus family, which is more important? And the reason why, this is one of my topics a few days ago. And because a lot of times people, they work so hard. They work so hard. They put so much time in and so many different things. And they say, well, I'm doing it for the family. They try to say they're doing it for the family, but are they really? So we asking the question, money versus family. Rico, which is more important?
Family is more important. Family is much more important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mean, that's almost like saying, do you value life over lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
You know, true enough, we do need money to survive.
Let me ask you this. Let me throw this in real quick. Rico, let me throw this in real quick. And I agree with what you said. Families certainly should be more important. But what do you say when a person work all the time? And they say, well, I'm doing it for the family, but they're spending no quality time with anybody except their work.
I mean, you know, you just said it. You don't get to spend that quality time. I mean, that's very important for you to have those bonds with your family to build memories. I mean, don't get me wrong, you probably do have time to build memories and, you know, provide for them all the things that, you know, they want or need. Maybe put them in situations where they can be greater than you are so they don't have to work as much. And I'm pretty sure those children will appreciate it. But for you to actually have an impact on them and you just not be working and creating a spoiled child, you still got to work overtime with building that bond too. So somewhere you got to draw a balance. You know, you can't spend 16 hours at the workplace and then come home and give 3 hours to your children and the other 5 to sleep, or 4, because you still got to shower and get up and eat and all that stuff there. You will never have a bond with that child. What you will have is you will have a privileged child that doesn't have any kind of relationship for you besides monetarily. They might appreciate the financial things you did for them, the superficial things that they were able to afford, or the trips that you took them on. But will they really understand and know you? Will they know anything about your history? What it was like when you were a child? You know, I mean, you know, these intimate bonds that families are lacking, that's another big thing that's going on with society too. I mean, we have to make a choice sometime between surviving and actually building bonds with our families. And I saw it, I mean, you know, you think about when they started coming up with first shift, second shift, third shift, 7-day work weeks, stores opening 24 hours a day. I can remember when I was coming up and they came up with this term, latchkey kid.
Yes, sir.
And when I understood what they were saying, I knew then, I said, that's going to be a problem. Because now you got kids that's going to have more time to do the little nasty and dirty things and sneaky things that I did just when my mom and dad was going to the club and leaving me with a babysitter. Now they can do it in the daytime. And then I participated. I was in the back door, hurry up and then leaving before somebody mama came home, doing my thing. You get what I'm saying? So that created an atmosphere where a lot of children were vulnerable and left wide open to have idle minds and make their own decisions, to make adult decisions as kids. Like they say, latchkey kids. They had to come home from school and fix their own dinners, and then they had to wait for the brothers and sisters to get home and prepare meals for them and help them with their homework. They still had homework, and then mom and dad would get home at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock because they work a second shift job. And they got to do this for survival. But somebody is being programmed by the older person that's really got the most control and the most quality time with those younger people. So you might be the parent, but your oldest child has more influence on the younger siblings because they were able to pick up more on from that older child.
Good deal.
Hopefully you influence that older child enough to do what you expect.
Exactly. Sandra, what's on your heart? Money versus family, which is more important?
Oh, of course, the family is always going to be the family. But we are in a society right now, and I know for me, I was a single mother a lot of the time when my children were growing up, and sometimes I was working 2 jobs and going to school just to try to make a better life for them. and you miss a lot. You literally can miss your children growing up. You can make them more subject to the prey, PREYERS, that are out there, the prayers, the people that are looking for a child or a young girl is looking for love or looking for attention. So it's really important to have balance. Yes, you need the money, but sometimes money ain't gonna get it when it comes to taking care of your children or your family's emotional and spiritual needs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Cook, talk to me, sis. What do you say to that? Money versus family, which is more important? Dr. Cook, you there?
Family is more important. You miss. I'm saying money is not everything. You miss a whole lot if you don't spend quality time with your children. I will basically say this: where I used to work, there was a gentleman. He worked so much overtime. He was working at least 16 hours a day and going home and sleeping and coming back to work doing 16 hours again. And so at the facility, he ended up making a grave bad decision. An inmate escaped and he was basically counting, and he basically said that the person was there because the other staff member said he was there, but he didn't go check. And so that, they had to put out the information because the individual escaped, but they did find him. And because he made that decision, trying to make money, and it was good money, he ended up losing his job. And so his heart was in the right place. He was trying to make sure that he was taking care of his family and making sure they didn't want for anything. But the thing is, you got to make sure you spend that quality time with family. I'm saying you need a job in order to do that, but money is not everything. Quality time with your family is most important, because once anyone leaves, you can't get that quality time back.
Exactly.
Anything occurs, you can't get it back.
Exactly. Toya, with a T, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart?
Money more important because family flip on you. No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding.
Lord.
Family. No, family. That's what it's all about. And free prisoners, man. We had a lot of time to spend outside of them cotton fields, honey. Then they didn't do nothing but trade got cotton fields for the corporation, and they want to keep you at work all the time. So the kids can be at home. That's exactly what we're talking about. But you got to have balance. They make it so challenging right now because you know what? You miss a day of work, you off beat. It sounds good. But provide, because we don't wait until we got enough money and we jump into having kids early and we already operate in the red. We can't take quality time because of the past choices and decisions that we made. I can't miss a beat. I can't miss a day. We just gonna have to make it do what it do. That's whether it's one parent or two parents. But the sacrifice, one of the things I admire about most folks is when that one wife stay home and that one man go and he work that little piece of job until that baby get big enough to go to school, and then they kind of do their thing. They make a sacrifice. See, we stop sacrificing. I'm just talking about my people right now because I only hang around my people. We stop sacrificing the polo for the time. Some of us, Corona just showed us the reason why we stay at work 16 hours a day, because I don't even like my family. I don't like my wife, don't like the kids. Lord have mercy. I just want to get away from all this. I just want to stay at work all day. And Corona put you back in the house, and you had to live with that mess. You had to see what the teachers were talking about. You had to see what your wife was talking about. And all of it stems back to the head of the household. But at the end of the day, we got to be real careful, because you must have a balance. And if you at work all day long and you've seen these issues that you're not going to face at home, regardless of who you are, mama or daddy, then you're going to be facing a rude awakening in the next few years. So if you don't do life's going to do you.
That's good. We got Friday with us as well. We got Friday on Friday. So I'm going to come to her in just 1 second, and good to have you with us, sis. But Kirk, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to that, man? Money versus family. Which is more important?
Family, man. Family is the greatest institution ever established by God.
Come on.
That's all I gotta say. Family. Family is the greatest institution established by God. If you read the Bible, and you really open it up and read it just on a human level. We ain't even gonna go spiritual. Just read it on a human level. As a human, we're taught about these great men throughout history and throughout society, right? As a human, that's we're taught that. Like Martin Luther King was great. Malcolm X was great. Medgar Evers was a great man. John F. Kennedy was a great man. George Washington was a great man. The list could go on and on. Abe Lincoln, the list could go on and on. Well, if you read the Bible on a human level, every great man that the Bible talk about, they give you a lineage of that man. They tell you, such and such begot by such and such begot by such and such begot by such and such, and it all ties all the way back to Abraham. All right? So if the Bible is telling you, before it even starts to tell you the story of this man, it's telling you where he come from, then that tells you that the greatest institution established by God is the family. If you take it a step further and you go all the way back to Genesis, I could be mistaken. I could be wrong. I've been known to be that a time or two. But it is not complete until after he creates one man. He creates man. He creates everything around man first. Then he creates man. Then he creates one man. And he tells him to be fruitful and multiply. Correct?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so if that is the case, right after he did that, basically it is done. It is complete. So you're telling me, according to scriptures, canon, and text, that even the creation was not complete until the design of the family was established. The church is the family. If families stop going to church, if they tonight stop going to church, like, nope, we're not going to that building no more. How long would that building stand as a church?
Not too much longer, brother. Not too much longer. I'm gonna read something. This is something Leonard said. Trying to get myself where I can see this here. Okay, there it go. I changed my entire life to support my family because that is the husband's responsibility. Going to work ain't no different than having to plow a field to feed your family. Sun up, sun down. You were told this ain't eating. And the second part, he says, if you don't want the responsibility, don't have children. Problem solved. I see you smile on that Friday. Good morning, Friday. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning.
We're talking about family, money versus family. Which is more important?
Show me the family. I
was about to say, Lord.
You know, we it's a lot of ways to approach it, but when it's all said and done, family is important. If we can hold together our son, say hello. You all in the camera. Say hi and be gone. So the family nucleus that we create, we would like to hopefully we can, establish and make it of our own husband, wife, child. But, family is what you make it. But I will say that to that same point, that is important. Because together with each other, community, village, family in its entirety, not just only mother, father, child, we can lean on each other to make things happen. I think when we talk about money versus family, we look at it today from a very divided perspective, which makes it challenging and hard. But we don't have to do things by ourselves. Also today, I know like out here in Connecticut, I'm part of a program where for free, you can get taught how to, not knowing anything in IT to being certified in IT, which gives you options to be able to work from home. And so you also have to look, you have to be willing to look at what best ways you can support your family and as best as possible, not grow your internal family outside of the means of you being able to take care of them. So grow at a pace that you can maintain it. And then too, also a lot of people are having families younger, some by choice, and just some just being wild. And so I would say to that, that family is still important. Family is still over everything. You're going to have to now humble yourself to expand your external family to those that can best support you so that you can work and be able to work hours that you can still be a part of your child's life.
That's good. That's good. Rico, if a person is a workaholic and their driving force is to make sure that the family is taken care of and the family have everything that they need, they have a small child, what message is they giving to that child at that particular moment, time wise?
So they actually teaching them to be a hard worker, and that, you know what I'm saying, this is what you have to do to provide for a family. This is what a man is supposed to do. There's nothing negative in that, unless that person doesn't have not one relationship with that child.
Right.
If they don't know anything about that child, oh, I didn't know you was a cheerleader. You made varsity? That I've been cheerleading ever since elementary school.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
babe, I'm so sorry. I work so much.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that can happen, man. You know, everything you work for go out the window then. They say, you know what, he loved his job more than he loved me. But baby, everything I did was for you. I went out here and bust my knuckles and bust my butt. But yeah, you don't know nothing about me, daddy. You didn't know it was a man coming up in here and laying up with me every night while you was in that knocked out cold sleep. I was in the next room moaning loud. And you still didn't hear me, daddy.
Wow.
So, I mean, you know, there's so many different things that can happen in that situation, you know, but I think what needs to be understood, because family is more important than money, but we got to understand that we definitely need to have money before we start that family. Because in this day and time, there's been another level put on top of it. Another level for us to be able to maintain and survive and keep up. I don't even want to say keep up with the Joneses, keep up with society, keep up with industrialization. It's a demand. The world needs to move 24 hours, and we need to produce things, and we need you people in this rat race to produce these things. And you might have to work second and third shift, and just hope that you have raised your child good enough not to sneak somebody in that house while you gone and take advantage of that, being grown. But see, you don't know how to tell them how to discern when to be grown and when not to be grown, because you already gave them grown people responsibilities, taking care of the house, making sure ain't nobody broke in, making sure all the doors are locked, making sure not only did the smaller siblings get their baths and get their homework done, but that they did responsibly and didn't stay up late at night and do everything they wanted to do. That they didn't have a house full of people over there while you were pulling that double shift. So I mean, you know, it's funny because some of the people that saying family come first might come back next week and say money over everything.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to sell a body, let us sell it. Long as they make dollars, it makes sense.
Wow.
So I think really truly, I think it's with some people it depends on what side of the bed they wake up on, but it might just depend on the topic. But with me, you know what I'm saying, it's always gonna be over money, because I've come to the reality to where some things I just don't value as much. I keep it in its proper place. I love money and I value money, but money is not number one. Exactly. I love entertainment. It's a whole lot of things that I love now, but I don't value it as much as I used to, because I know the most important thing is this life and family.
Good deal. Good deal. Captain Leonard says something. I'm gonna get Friday to read it for us. Friday, will you read that, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. I'm not even encouraging my kids to get married and have kids. I want them to be free and choose what they want to do. And that does not include burdening themselves with things they can avoid.
That's good. Cassandra, what do you say to that? What's in your heart? Cassandra? Cassandra, I'm about to say it to you. Cassandra. Wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Friday, what do you say to that?
I don't really see anything wrong with that. I think that we would be not giving full opportunity to our children to only tell them that they have to then have children as well. That's not a call for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a call. And if I remember correctly, God wants us to be fruitful and multiply. That's not the only way we can multiply, unless we're the last people on earth or the first people in that situation with Adam and Eve. Then, or Noah, when he says replenish the earth, there's multiple ways to multiply. And I believe that one of the apostles talked about, I don't think it was a commandment of God, but he talked about that, if you can, contain yourself to not be immoral with your sexual desires, than to stay single, so you can devote that time to God and be fully available to God. Because when you do have a family, it's not something he shuns off on, but you now have to split your time and manage your time in a way that where if you're single, you can be more available to serve. And so I don't think it's the wrong thing. I think definitely with anything, it's going to be how you teach it, what principles you're attaching to it, and if that's how you're raising your family or children. They shouldn't feel like they're less or subhuman or less able to serve God if they have a family, or vice versa if they choose to have a family. They just need to know how to balance that time. Likewise, like we're talking about with work. And think about it. So I do think that people should encourage their children to look into what they want to do, and pursue those things. And then, but first of all, pursue God, and he'll help direct all of those things, because he said, if you pursue me first, all these things will be added onto you. And that includes family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kurt, what's on your heart? Told you what is he coming to you next? Kurt, you there?
Yeah, Murray, what's on my heart about the family issue?
Yes. Money over money versus family, which is more important, and teaching the kids and making sure that there's somewhat of a balance. Because I said that thing earlier, and I was kind of gearing toward there being a balance, and you have to teach your kids that balance, because all work and no play make Jane a boring day, or however that thing go. Y'all know the old saying. But what's on your heart, Kurt?
I mean, being a workaholic, it can, in all reality, destroy a family. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've had to deal with the fallout of it. A lot of the children that you get in sessions who have cognitive, learning disabilities, mental health disabilities such as depression, anxiety, and abandonment. Workaholics, they can put on their kids a level of abandonment, and the kid will start to feel like daddy or mama work like that. They work so much because they don't like me, or they work so much because they don't want to deal with me. They don't want to be around me. Kids tend to take what we do as adults personal. It reminds me of, like, I had a girl one time. I had a young lady that was, I forget what they call it, and now the DSM changes so much. I forget what they call it. They call it self-harm now. We used to call it self-mutilation. but
Wow.
they dumbed that down because that sounded too harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But she would run in a corner and cut herself every time there was a fight and or serious argument on the unit. Come to find out in session that the daddy was a workaholic and he was abusive to the mama. So every time the daddy decided that he wanted to whoop on the mama, the girl would take it like if her mama was getting beat, it was her fault. So she would go and hide and cut herself so that she would feel the same pain that her mama was feeling. So,
Wow.
I mean, if you're a workaholic, having a balance is extremely important. I mean, you gotta work and you gotta feed your family. Most workaholics don't understand that the lifestyle they trying to provide for their family ain't the lifestyle that the family actually want. To be painfully honest, it ain't the lifestyle that the family actually wanted. They wanted you at home.
Yeah. Exactly.
They wanted you in their eyesight. So you know, it's the only way that you gonna work against it is to find that balance.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Toy, you want to T? What's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, no, Kurt is right. You know, the devil uses those things to play tricks on us because we want you at home, but being at home can't help you dry the bed. Being at home can't help you get the Jordans you got on your feet while you're so depressed. And I think while we're sitting up here talking about materialistic things, we're missing the whole balance of it all. Because we was working 16 hours in the slave fields too. We didn't have nothing back then either, being a slave and was having kids. We were young having kids back then too. So when it comes to us, no, that's nothing. Our lack and inability to be able to walk in greatness and excellence is where we dropped the ball at. We stopped fighting to be with each other. That's my child. We stopped fighting to be with that man or that woman and stand up for honesty and integrity. And along the way, our kids are getting the midst of it. Your kids sneaking somebody in the house because you sneaking somebody in the house. You ain't married. So we still acting like just because we tell our kids something, we don't know how they got that way. When we ain't even the way we tell them to be hypocritical.
Wow.
Now, if you was married, they wouldn't be sneaking nobody in the house because you're married. But just the spirit of who you are is in me. And I don't know why I do some of the things I do when I'm a kid. Remember all the times you said you just like your mama? That spirit is in me, just like it's in you. So while you move in one way, you think I'm moving another. No, I'm moving in accordance to you by the spirit. But we don't pay that no attention. At the end of the day, you better talk to your kids. Just because you at work all day, you better call them 17 times a day. What's going on? How you doing? Good morning. Good afternoon. We make excuses. God already certain. He already talked to me about this. Do you know why y'all can't take care of your family? Because y'all use 6 hours putting on hair and makeup. That's why you can't take care of your family. We have to start gaining personal responsibility on our kids and why they are the way they are. And you can be at work and communicate. You can be at work and give them rules and regulations. You can be at work and teach them things. We're not doing that. We're thinking the kids already know. You should know how to clean chicken. You know, watch me do it for 14 years. You should know at 7 how to stay in the house by yourself and not do this and the third. No, they're kids, and not for nothing. They've been watching our mistakes. You know, so balance.
Exactly.
When we get back to raising our kids in greatness and excellence and understanding and walking in it, then we won't have those issues. But until then, we are playing when it comes to greatness and excellence. And this is the root of it all.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Toussaint.
Hey, you know what?
Go ahead, Kurt.
Toya just said something that took the top off. Because you know when she spoke about the devil, the trick of the devil. If you read the scripture, right, the devil tempted Jesus with a form of money. Real talk. Go back and read it. When Jesus went to when Jesus went up in the Golgotha's hill for prayer and fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, the devil came to him. Listen, read what the temptations were. Pretty much all three of the temptations was connected to some form of money. If you read it, when you get a chance, read it, and then call me and tell me what you think.
Got you. Friday, can I get you to read again for me?
Sure. Yeah, I done impose straight mental and emotional disorders with hard work. I love my father, and he loved me just as much as he worked at the plant, often overtime. I love him for caring that much about his family to make the sacrifice. Love covers a multitude of sin. It does. I don't know. I think when it's mentioned about workaholics as a form of a disorder, is speaking to that as a form of disorder, not that because you work long hours that you now have a disorder. So let's be clear. I mean, it wasn't my statement, but to me that was clear. When we say alcoholics, we speak to the disorder of people not having control or substituting their life for alcohol, not because you have an alcohol drink. So let's not blend the two, because it is a real thing, and I don't want to lessen one over the other. But I do want to make sure that is known as a differential. But it's nothing, again, I think that goes back to just communicating. Communicating. It's not anything wrong with working hard or having to work long hours. But communicating that, making sure your child is aware that you're working long hours, that you see them, like it was mentioned. I think Rico said something to that, or it could have been Curtis. Making sure that they know that they exist. That you're not just giving them money to participate in something you don't even know what they're participating in. And though you may not be able to go to all of the events, because depending on if you're in a job that has rotating work shifts, or not, then you can still find ways to be involved, and being involved in their life and communicating with them so that they can know that yes, I'm working hard, yes, is this our situation, but just because you work hard doesn't mean that I don't love you, or just because you have to work hard in life doesn't mean that you can't find ways to be involved in their family's life. Again, it may even be something where you have to consider doing something different so that you can have more control of your time and still make as much money. So some of it is personal fortitude. It's different than working full-time and then doing part-time hours to go after that degree. It's different working 2 part-time so that you can go to school to, or working part-time hours in a program that can put you in a position to work less hours and make more money. And we have to look at what the times are too. The times are different, which means we're going to have to move differently. But I'll still go back on to and hold my ground about being able, even as a full family unit, being humble enough to extend your family so that you can have people, you can have that community, and you can have that network. So then your child's not by themselves. That's not an excuse to take advantage of those people that you create your external family to be, but so you can lean on one another. And that's just as important. And that's considered family too. I have family from the military that we're not blood related, but they're family, and I can call on them, lean on them if I need help. We're not in proximity anymore, per se, to just in the same day, but if a notification, they'll be here, if I need to go leave for work for a week or something. And so we have to look at that too as an option. But family is over money. Both can work. But the time that you put in your family, those memories is what's going to be important.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? And Toussaint coming to you next.
I feel like if a man is already working like that, it's a good possibility that a woman might see that and, ooh, oh, girl, he a catch. He a hard-working man. He worked 15, 16 hours a day, and he got this and he got that. He a catch, and she get with him. She get with him for the wrong reason, though, because she still need her man by her side. She want to spend some time with him, you know. Then she don't start having children. But he's still a workaholic. Now, what may happen is not only may the children start sneaking people in, but the partner might start sneaking people in. Somebody might be enjoying your recliner and your remote control. They might even have they might even have some slippers here somewhere in the attic that you don't know about, so they get real comfortable. Matter of fact, the kids might even embrace them. Because she came in for the wrong intentions in the first place. See, maybe she got lonely, she can't take it no more. So I guess what it boils down to now, maybe if you start doing that after marriage, you might have a problem too. But see, the thing is that I hope that a person will be in a situation where they don't need to work like that. I hope they're in a situation where if they do work like that, when the wife or the children confront them or some problem or situation confronts them pertaining to them, and it's because they're not spending enough time at home, they can afford to take that time off. See, it's a problem if you can't afford to take that time off, but just work a regular 8 hours or 10 hours. If you got to work them 16 hours to survive, you probably shouldn't be having no family.
Exactly. Toussaint, talk to me, man. Money over family, which is more important?
I don't see how you distinguish the two. If you ain't got no money, don't have no family.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I mean, some people, a lot of people, choose money over family. That's obvious. That's why your kids raising themselves. We got a lot of people have, I'm gonna just say people, got 2 or 3 jobs, and they basically probably all one good job, and they can get their family anything they want, but they never feel. They are able to send let their kids play their sports or join the necessary the clubs to benefit them along the way. They get them kids uniforms, they go to school, shoes, buy their meals and everything else, and they do that for years and years and years. And then the kid goes to college and graduates, and there you go, 18 years. I don't know, some people may say that as success. Then the kid goes and they become something, and then the person retires. I call that life. That's what I call it. For some, not everybody. Then there are some people that just stay with their family. They don't go nowhere. They just stick and try to raise their kids. The husband struggles, or the wife struggles, or the companion struggles while one stays at home. And they decide to just struggle. So that they can have a family-oriented environment. Choices. I've learned in this society, don't put nobody in a box. You don't know why people do certain things.
Yeah.
Some people work hard for 20 or 30 years, and then when they retire, when they raise their kids, they travel for the rest of their lives. Some people don't put nothing up, so they work till they're 70 and 80. There's a lot that can be said about this money versus family, because some people despise their parents, children despise their parents because they give them everything they want but time. You know.
That's
so
good.
Me, I may be kind of struggling through my work life, but I told my kids, good luck. When I retire, I'm disappearing.
Lord.
That's my part.
And see, and see the sad reality. I believe you mean that, brother. I believe you mean that. You gone.
Actually,
Gone.
you want me to see if I can get one of them to call you? They'll tell you.
Lord.
You don't have a family gathering. That ain't gonna stay long.
Ain't gonna happen.
Anyway.
Good deal. Let me see. I got another thing here. Cassandra, are you back? Are you with us, Cassandra?
Yes, I am.
Good deal. Cassandra, let me ask you this question. We're talking about money versus family, which is more important. And I'm gonna switch it just a little bit. If a person has all the money in the world, does that necessarily mean that they are a good parent?
Absolutely not. And we've seen that, especially if you look at people, very successful people, and look at their children. Many of their children are dysfunctional. They're drug addicts. They're alcoholics. They live this wow, over the top type of life. And a lot of them are suicidal, depressed. So that, you can have all the money in the world and you giving your children, you thinking you're doing the right thing and you're giving them all this stuff, but that does not replace you on any level. So it's good that and I want people to make plenty of money and be able to take care of their families well, but don't do it at the cost of your family. If that makes sense.
That's good. Kurt, what do you say to that, man? All the money in the world, got all the money you can count. Can't count it all. Had to hire people to help you count it. 3 or 4 people to help you count it, because none of y'all can count it all. Does that necessarily mean that you are a good parent?
No, it don't. In no way, shape, form, or fashion does it make you a good parent. Because see, I'm like Cassandra. I've seen it. I've had to deal with it, and I've seen where a man who was unemployed, just coming home from prison, maybe been home 2-3 years, was a better father to his kids than this man who was working. Than this man who was working in one of the biggest law firms in the city of New York, Manhattan to be precise. See that I want to say it's 3 in my mind, but it might be 4. There's 3 types of fathers. There's 3 types of daddies, or whatever, however you want to put it. There's an absentee landlord daddy, who he just an absent father. Then there's a paper check father. Paper check daddy, he get the money. Either he in the house or he out the house. All he do is just give up the money, and then he off doing whatever he doing, going wherever he going. And then there's the interactive father, who knows his kids, know where they go, and he knows that, okay, my kids ain't perfect. They gonna make some choices that they gonna make. I think when it come down to fatherhood and when it come down to parenting, we as adults have to figure out, or we as parents have to figure out, which parent are we going to be, and which parent is going to be able to morally and ethically place things, plant seeds in their kids that is going to allow those seeds will grow and it'll make them better human beings. Like Donald said, look, after I retire, I'm going to take care of y'all. After I retire, I'm going to go enjoy the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to disappear. And he raised his kids right. So the kids saying, you know what? Daddy deserved that. He deserved that. Like, my son was I'll just end with this. My son was buying some music or whatever. And I said to him, I said, look, why don't you just let me go on and get that? I'll pay for that. Because you get ready to get married. You know what he said to me? He said, Dad, I know I'm ready to get married. He said, but man, you know what? You've earned the right to not have to come out your pocket for me. No, I got this one, Daddy. I'm good. You know, so, you know, the big thing is just paying attention to the fact that your kids are paying attention to you.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
ain't made all the right decisions. I haven't. I'll be the first one to tell them that to their face. But I tried to make the best decisions I could as a parent. And that's all any of us can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna read this right here. This is Captain Leonard. He said this right here. He said, I thank God for being by my side because I simply couldn't have did it by myself. He said, I'm going to go shout. And he put shout in quotation marks because God has provided for me and my family. Even when my body and my mind broke down, he made a way. Even when my body and my mind broke down, he made a way. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
You better say that. He said, shout, woo! You better say it. You better say it. Because let me tell you something. That's the main factor. You can have all the money in the world, and you're right, you're still going to be a terrible parent if you don't teach your baby about God, if you don't teach them a standard, and you sitting up here wondering why they mad, but you ain't taught them the truth. You got all that money, but you ain't taught them the truth. You need to tell them where the real love lies first, so that way they'll know how this thing goes. But we so busy trying to put something in their face instead of being available. You know, my father raised me in the project on a very minimum salary. I did not have the best clothes, did not have the best hair, but I'm confident like this because the love he instilled in me. I was a nappy-headed, dusty little girl, confident as all outdoors because of what he instilled in me, not on and outside of me. So as parents, we be, I don't know what we be doing, but kids don't even remember all of those gifts. When you get 30, you remember, well, that time I had that recital, you didn't come. You don't remember all the gifts they bought. So I think, you know, humans are parents. In the same way we be trying to do something extra for the girlfriend or you know, oh, I put on all the makeup and this, that, and third look good. And the man be like, girl, you ain't got to do all that. I love you. We be thinking we be doing something for somebody else. And at the end of the day, we don't even care, man. You can throw all that away, man. You give away all that money. You can give away this house. I'd rather be a homeless person on the street just to be with you, daddy. Or mama. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to get back to the basics and get back to the love level. And we'll be surprised. I mean, some of this stuff we'll probably be walking away from because it's taking time away from the real love of our family.
Exactly. Wow, that's good. Rico, talk to me, brother. We ready to close it out. What's on your heart?
Yeah, man, I could get deep on this, but I ain't gonna even start on it, man, because this one here is personal too. You know, I know firsthand why family is more important than money. You know, I'll say this. You know, I think I don't say it time and time before about how I've been on my own since I was 11. I ain't gonna say completely on my own, raised by my grandmother, but she couldn't keep up with me. She had did her job as a parent, so I was able to, you know, really get by with a lot of stuff on her. She just didn't have the energy to keep up or try to catch up to, you know, what was what I was exposed to or was out there doing. But she was somewhat aware. She just trusted me, and then I played it good enough to where she didn't understand, but me being on my own like that, you know, I know for a fact that a person can be very successful, but still be an abuser, domestic abuser, drunk, you know, and I'll put it this way, like those people right now, my stepfather, he's worth a couple $1 million easily, but he wonders why his own daughter, not only me and my brother, but why his own daughter don't come and see him or never bought the grandkids to come see him because he's done things in the past that was so abusive and neglectful, but they always thought that money would make it up, so they ask these questions. I mean, I tell him and my mom, you know, why don't they come around? I said, well, listen, I said, you have to build a bond. You can buy the most expensive Christmas present and you can be consistent with that. You can buy the most expensive birthday presents. You can open up all the bank accounts you want. But if you don't have those small memories to share with people, that you can sit back and go back and laugh about. If you got to tell the same 1 or 2 stories every time you get around these people because you ain't never spent no time with them, y'all don't know each other. They appreciate the gift of those material things, but you got to have a bond. So now you're sitting up here worth millions of dollars, but you don't get treated like a parent or grandparent the way everybody else do. Your children then turn out the way everybody else's children did because you didn't put the effort in. You didn't support your children the right way. You thought money, the fact that you could provide an in-ground pool, the fact that you can get you can be the first black family in this white neighborhood, and you could brag about that. You could brag about the fact that you got this kind of money. And we should just be proud of that. You thought that was going to be enough. You thought the fact that I had a car at 16 or a motorcycle at 14 when everybody else was walking was still going to make up for the fact that you beat the brakes off of it. Told me I wasn't going to never be nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got that dysfunctional programming on top of the fact that, well, I'll make everything right once I go and buy some stuff. And that used to be the rumor. The rumor used to be, well, I heard that Unc used to go buy Auntie a van after he beat her to make up for it. Because he could go buy vehicles cash, brand new off the lot. So, you know, it's like, as you get older, you realize I was a workaholic and I provided this and that for y'all and I paid for y'all to go to college. I just wrote the checks. I had all the money to do what you want to do. All you had to do is take advantage of it. But we lack guidance and direction. And we lack that bond. So now you don't get that relationship that you want when you're looking at everybody else that was poor or broken than you. But they got such a bond with their sons that they're almost like brothers now. So, I mean, that's the reason why family is more important than money. You got to still instill those virtues and those values, the importance of humanity, and the reason why your legacy is important. Because you working at that job 16 hours a day, you building the legacy of somebody else.
Exactly. Wow, we might need to revisit this topic right here, man. We might need to revisit this one more time because there's so many different layers that we haven't even touched on yet.
I told you the other day to get on it, man, and you missed it. Then you gonna jump on here with 45 minutes left, man. You know this thing needs 2 days.
We're gonna revisit this one again. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it again on the docket for next week, and probably Monday or Tuesday, something like that. And we're gonna talk about this again because there's a lot tied up in here. And we got Friday with a Fridays Home Ask Friday. We should pray us out, but before we do that, I'm gonna go to Rico. And Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
If you missed today's show and would like to catch it in its entirety, you could tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Friday, I'm gonna get you to pray us out, and as soon as she can finish. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let you pray right after Toya with a T. Toya with a T. I want you to give us some words to live by for the weekend. Give us some words to live by.
Words to live by. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen up.
Oh,
God
Lord.
is a big God. He can spit a seat. He can show enough give you what you want. So listen, whatever you're doing, you keep on doing it. If it's good and it's something that is going to be beneficial to your family or others or whatever, or just simply make God smile. No matter how hard it seems, you keep on going because it may seem like it's taking a long time. But if you keep going, eventually it'll be done. So don't be distracted if it looks like there's no movement. Don't be distracted if it looks like it ain't no growth. Because before you know it, the same way you plant a seed in the garden and it grows, it's the same way your dream's going to grow. So don't get discouraged. Keep on going.
Absolutely. Miss Friday, on a Friday, can you pray us out?
Absolutely. So Heavenly Father, we just come before you humbly as we know how. First, asking for forgiveness, dear Heavenly Father. I know the day is early in the start, dear Heavenly Father, but if we didn't come to you first thing when we open our eyes, we're asking for forgiveness. Dear Heavenly Father, if we laid down last night and didn't come to you to say thank you for the blessings in that day and to watch over us as we sleep, we ask for your forgiveness. And dear Heavenly Father, I pray right now asking forgiveness just as we go through our day, if we miss opportunities, just to be able to let your light so shine through us, dear Heavenly Father. Father, I ask, dear Heavenly Father, that with the topics that we discussed today, dear Heavenly Father, that it continue to be discussions amongst the many, dear Heavenly Father, even for those that catch it on rebroadcast, dear Heavenly Father, so that they can bring it to you, get research, and make informed decisions, Heavenly Father. I pray for all the families, Heavenly Father, whether it's two parent, single parent, mixed, a community family, dear Heavenly Father. I pray for every type of family that there is, dear Heavenly Father. I pray, dear Heavenly Father, for families that started together and ended up in single parent situations, dear Heavenly Father, that may seem hard, or maybe someone's going through that at this time, dear Heavenly Father, and they're like, well, I have to work because I have to provide a roof, dear Heavenly Father. We're not having these discussions to make anyone feel, dear Heavenly Father, that they are less than, but we're having a discussion just to ensure that we keep priority in order, Father, but that priority starts with you, and that we hope that they look to you and know that they can look to you, dear Heavenly Father, because you are a provider, dear Heavenly Father, and you're a friend, and you're many things if they just lean into you and look to you to be that for them, dear Heavenly Father. And we thank you for allowing us to have the word for reference out of your Bible, dear Heavenly Father. And I pray that everyone is able to make it applicable to their life where they are. And Father, your word says that we should, in raising our family, keep your word in our mouths, give them example into everything that we're doing, and all that is happening throughout the day. At all times, we should be explaining and showing and demonstrating, dear Heavenly Father, not only your love, but that we have this because of you and referencing them back, so that when they get old, dear Heavenly Father, they'll already have an understanding and a relationship with you, that you are the one, you're the source of all of the resources that we use. And we just thank you for everyone on this panel. Bless their lives and their coming and going. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. We are about to get out of here, boy. I tell you, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank you for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now, 10:09. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know, it could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Love you. Take care of each other, and each and every one of you. Be blessed.